It is clearly better that property should be private, but the use of it common, and the special business of the legislator is to create in men this benevolent disposition. A statement is persuasive and credible either because it is directly self-evident or because it appears to be proved from other statements that are so. Poetry is finer and more philosophical than history, for poetry expresses the universal, and history only the particular. We are not angry with people we fear or respect, as long as we fear or respect them. You cannot be afraid of a person and also at the same time angry with him. In constructing the plot and working it out with the proper diction, the poet should place the scene, as far as possible, before his eyes. In this way, seeing everything with the utmost vividness, as if he were a spectator of the action, he will discover what is in keeping with it, and be most unlikely to overlook inconsistencies. Bring your desires down to your present means. Increase them only when your increased means permit. Some kinds of animals burrow in the ground, others do not. Some animals are nocturnal, as the owl and the bat, others use the hours of daylight. There are tame animals and wild animals. Man and the mule are always tame, the leopard and the wolf are invariably wild, and others, as the elephant, are easily tamed. Different men seek after happiness in different ways and by different means, and so make for themselves different modes of life and forms of government. For though we love both the truth and our friends, piety requires us to honor the truth first. Inferiors revolt in order that they may be equal, and equals that they may be superior. Such is the state of mind which creates revolutions. No notice is taken of a little evil, but when it increases it strikes the eye. Misfortune shows those who are not really friends. The true and the approximately true are apprehended by the same faculty. It may also be noted that men have a sufficient natural instinct for what is true, and usually do arrive at the truth. Hence the man who makes a good guess at truth is likely to make a good guess at probabilities. Our judgments when we are pleased and friendly are not the same as when we are pained and hostile. Thou wilt find rest from vain fancies if thou doest every act in life as though it were thy last. Men acquire a particular quality by constantly acting in a particular way. It is Homer who has chiefly taught other poets the art of telling lies skillfully. Most people would rather give than get affection. The eyes of some persons are large, others small, and others of a moderate size. The last mentioned are the best. And some eyes are projecting, some deep-set, and some moderate, and those which are deep-set have the most acute vision in all animals. The middle position is a sign of the best disposition. Whether if soul did not exist time would exist or not, is a question that may fairly be asked, for if there cannot be someone to count there cannot be anything that can be counted, so that evidently there cannot be number, for number is either what has been, or what can be, counted. Homer has taught all other poets the art of telling lies skillfully. The moral virtues, then, are produced in us neither by nature nor against nature. Nature, indeed, prepares in us the ground for their reception, but their complete formation is the product of habit. It is not once nor twice but times without number that the same ideas make their appearance in the world. A sense is what has the power of receiving into itself the sensible forms of things without the matter, in the way in which a piece of wax takes on the impress of a signet ring without the iron or gold. Men are swayed more by fear than by reverence. The poet, being an imitator like a painter or any other artist, must of necessity imitate one of three objects: things as they were or are, things as they are said or thought to be, or things as they ought to be. The vehicle of expression is language, either current terms or, it may be, rare words or metaphors. Bashfulness is an ornament to youth, but a reproach to old age. For as the eyes of bats are to the blaze of day, so is the reason in our soul to the things which are by nature most evident of all. A constitution is the arrangement of magistracies in a state. A tragedy is a representation of an action that is whole and complete and of a certain magnitude. A whole is what has a beginning and middle and end. The generality of men are naturally apt to be swayed by fear rather than reverence, and to refrain from evil rather because of the punishment that it brings than because of its own foulness. But if nothing but soul, or in soul mind, is qualified to count, it is impossible for there to be time unless there is soul, but only that of which time is an attribute, i.e. if change can exist without soul. Long-lived persons have one or two lines which extend through the whole hand. Short-lived persons have two lines not extending through the whole hand. Man is the only animal capable of reasoning, though many others possess the faculty of memory and instruction in common with him.